The Des Moines Register, which is one of the big leading newspapers in the Midwest, and it has a lot of influence early in the political seasons every 4 years, because, of course, it's in Iowa, where they have that initial political caucus. The Des Moines Register is endorsing Hillary Clinton, saying she stands for American values. And what values would those be? Well, lying and attacking your political enemies and abandoning 4 men in Benghazi and killing little babies in mommy's wombs. Yes, that would be the American values the Des Moines Register is trying to celebrate. Bill Colley with you on Top Story on News Radio 1310. My voice cracking. I must be going through puberty all over again. Wouldn't that be nice? Nah, it wasn't that much fun. 8:34, and we have 47. Also wanted to remind you, if you're listening to our program today, I want to say thank you. But if you're having difficulty listening, you need to get in touch with Dr. Christine Pickup, a doctor of audiology at Mount Harrison Audiology in Rupert. And she reminds you, you may be enjoying crisp fall air and the crunch of leaves, but the holidays will quickly be upon us, and that means a lot of family gatherings, and you don't want to be left out. Call Mount Harrison Audiology today to find solutions to hearing loss and be ready to enjoy all the fun, the family gatherings, and special moments with loved ones. Schedule your hearing health check at 312-0957. Life is worth hearing. That number again, 312-0957. My number, if you'd like to reach me during the course of the program today, is 736-0300. Bill Colley with you on Top Story on News Radio 1310, KLIX, and newsradio1310.com. Caller, you're up next. You're on the air.
Bill, I wish Trump would say the dangerous Clintons. Hillary recently said you can't trust Trump with the nuclear codes. Her husband, Bill, left our country undefended because the military officers that were carrying the nuclear... I'm lost here. But anyway, he was carrying the nuclear bomb, and Bill didn't have the codes. He left our country defenseless. Read Dereliction of Duty by Lieutenant Colonel Buzz Patterson.
Well, I will take a look at it if I get a chance. Will point out that these are stories the mainstream media will not share with you because it would make the Clintons look bad. They'll tell you after Election Day, after they've sold the country down the river, and they've got especially what they want in establishment media in this country. Then they'll talk about these things. But for now, their job is to drag their girl across the finish line. You're up next. You're on the air on KLIX.
Yes, two comments on points you made in the first half hour. First, Hillary's help. In the first debate, they refused to give her a chair. In the second debate, all of a sudden, chairs just showed up on the stage, and when she wasn't squawking, she was squatting.
Yes.
And nobody said anything about it, The second point is you mentioned that you felt that the liberals trying to infiltrate the Catholic Church. Well, they've done that to mainline Protestant churches.
Yeah.
Mainline Protestant churches now pro-abortion, pro-homosexuality, with their priests and ministers being homosexual.
And I'll tell you, I'll add to that. Thank you much for the call. In Canada, which they're experiencing this, when it's even more advanced there now at this point, the Methodist Church in Canada is trying to remove a woman from ministry. First of all, I think that some people still debate having women in ministry. Some churches don't allow it. And they're trying to remove her because she has rewritten the Lord's Prayer because while she is the minister and she's the pastor, she's an atheist. How did this happen, you may ask? Well, she got the job in 2001, and she didn't tell anyone at the time that she was having second thoughts about whether she believed in God or not. And then over the years, she evolved, and by 2011, she was suddenly committed as an atheist and no longer believed in God. Yet she wants to continue in her church. She has rewritten the Lord's Prayer as an affirmation of daily life, but a godless daily life. Church is trying to remove her, and she is fighting it, and even some of the dinglings in the church are with her. Well, what's the point? What's the whole point of even going? You're up next. You're on the air at 8:38. Go ahead. You're on KLIX.
Good morning, Bill. I was just wondering three times, how come the Democrats get to control all of the debate? It's a hostile environment, and if they're saying there's no rigging, no election rigging or nothing, How come we can't get one on our home court and ask some real questions? I wonder what's the deal.
I know that it's long been said, and I thank you for the call, long been said that why don't we put together, at least during the primaries, debates hosted by Sean Hannity and Rush Limbaugh, and maybe throw in Mark Levin. Beck might be too controversial anymore, and I don't think anybody wants Savage there because he'll be bouncing off the walls. Maybe Laura Ingraham. But in the general, the debates between Republicans and Democrats, and sometimes even a third-party candidate. I guess it's been a long time since maybe John Anderson was the last who was on stage in a major debate. And that would have been well over a generation ago. I get the impression WikiLeaks is showing that the networks were in collusion anyway with the Democrats on putting all of this together. But again, we know that. And maybe it's just time to say, if you're a Republican, I'm not going to participate. Here's my list of ground rules, and if we respect those, I'll get involved. But if you're going to be, running it for your fellow travelers, I want no part of it. 20 minutes away from 9 o'clock, Bill Colley with you on Top Story on News Radio 1310, KLIX, and newsradio1310.com. Randy Staples from Idaho Weekly Briefing coming up in a moment. He's going to talk with us about the split over Trump and the state Republican Party. That's on the way. It's 47.